In your own words, what's it like to be you nowadays?
Oh, okay. Uh, it's it's me. That's it. That's all I got.
Um, Boring and interesting all at the same time.
Mm. Okay, so what's interesting and what's boring, if you don't mind me asking?
Day-to-day life is boring. Uh, Interesting, like the the interactions, experiences, and life just throws crazy shit
Mm.
no matter what.
Mm. Yeah, I feel that. It must be interesting because for both of you, like your life to everybody else around is so fascinating, but to you guys, it's just your life, isn't
Yeah.
it? So is there a weird contrast with that where sometimes you just like life to you is it's just normal, isn't it? And I mean, I have something on a very, very, very small scale. I have cerebral palsy. Have you heard of that? It's like a physical. So my legs kind of are a bit funny. I walk a little bit funny, and I get this feeling sometimes when I go into a room that people are noticing there's a difference about me. They might treat me a little bit differently, and I can only relate to you on a tiny little fragment like that. But yeah, it's really interesting. That's really interesting.
Thank you.
I one thing I wanted to ask you guys to also keep it sort of broad and allow you to take this conversation anywhere you want to go is, what are some things that maybe people would assume about your life that are wrong, and what are some things that you wish people would know, like beforehand, before meeting you, before asking you a question, just for us, because I'm interested.
A lot of different assumptions are that we are depressed or we resent our existence for being conjoined twins when it has really just been certain life experiences that just kind of have us just be the way that we are kind of thing, if that makes any sense. Some people think that we don't walk, we don't drive, we don't just doesn't go to school, that we didn't go to public school, that we have money, um, and that we've not worked this hard to be where we are today.
Mm.
It's kind of like a superpower.
Vision.
Yeah.
That's vision.
And at the moment, you guys are you still working with animals and stuff?
Yeah, we're currently working as receptionists at an animal hospital in our same town actually, as well as I am currently going into my second year of my vet tech program. I should be done with it by next spring. If not, I'm gonna take the test anyway.
But we also work at a goat farm.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's
How was that in the course you were doing? Sorry.
It's good. It's very difficult because we have to do like a lot of raw different like subjects and then just try to compile them into like one thing. So like last year I took something called like small animal. So that's just the basics of like what I'd have to do
During clinical.
yeah, like clinical work, and then just apply it to like a laboratory setting as well of just some people would bring in their dogs and we'd have to do like a mock appointment type of thing.
Right. So it's kind of like, is that treating animals?
Yes, kind of a little bit. It's more like nursing than like actual doctor stuff because we're going into animal nursing.
Mm. And is that like a variety of animals or just
It's mostly right now just small dogs and cats. What we want to go into is more large cows, horses, camelids, stuff like that.
that's really cool. So if you're doing that course then and Lupita's doing a job, how does that kind of work?
Well, I dropped out of school 2 years ago because of anxiety, and I had a lot of panic attacks during school. I didn't know why, but it stopped when I dropped out. So, and then her grades got better when I dropped out.
Yeah, I mean it seemed to I'm quite like it's quite inspiring because Lupita, like it seems like you've kind of gone up in confidence. I have kind of noticed that because at the start didn't you say I heard in one interview that that you went for a long period of time without speaking at all. And
Yeah, I didn't speak I was selectively mute for since I was 5 years old until I finished high school. Actually, no. Since I started TikTok, because I didn't know why. I just felt like I didn't really have a voice.
Mm. Yeah, and then now you got these like one-liners.
Yeah. I usually did in school, but they usually thought it was Carmen, and then she would get in trouble for them, and then yeah.
That's great. That's great. But so that's an amazing story, and that's really like admirable. But what do you think sort of created that change? What allowed you to sort of help yourself find your own voice? Yeah.
I think the pandemic really like set in that I saw a lot of like information going around, and like a lot of people are more depressed, and I wanted to make a community smile a little more, because when I was depressed, I wanted someone to make me smile. So I just want to do it for someone else.
That's really nice. I respect that a lot. So did you guys start like making content or making videos on TikTok or whatever around sort of the time of the pandemic and stuff?
To be honest, we had a YouTube channel a little bit beforehand. We have been doing it on and off for a couple years since like
We were 17.
since like 2016, 2017. And then we started, actually you started TikTok officially in like the pandemic area, late 2020.
Mm-hmm. And how does that feel when you have videos and stuff that of you guys talking about your lives and your experiences and interviews and things that so many people are seeing, and how does it feel to have that many eyes on you? Is it sort of a positive thing of like, it's great that people can learn about your guys' life and learn about your characters and all the great things you get up to? And is it also a bit of a daunting thing as well, or is it a combination of both of those?
It's a little bit of both. It's good how less people are staring at just staring at us kind of thing, like with the lead paint stare. Mostly old people, but younger kids are like, oh, I learned a lot about you guys, and then I wanted to like help my friends out more and stuff like that.
I'm not gonna lie, I give in to the internet, if that makes any sense, of like what the internet does of people who are different, if that makes any sense. Of just, it's good and it's bad. I like how we are able to like actually clearly state of who we are and how we live without having the media really. I mean, the media's gonna just mix a bunch of words together regardless, but we are able to stand our ground the way that we want to, as well as how do I put this? Not just take the like weird verbal abuse that a lot of people think that they can like just throw at us because the way that we look.
Mm-hmm. And you guys have also developed like two separate Instagram accounts. Has that kind of helped with developing like more differentiated personalities? Because it seems like I would have thought you'd be like pretty similar in terms of what you guys are like, but it seems like you have like differences as well.
Instagram, we started with a joint Instagram when we were like 13, 14. And then when we started high school, I don't know, I just wanted my own Instagram, I guess. And then I sometimes just post memes on our story. Like all the random memes you see, that's just me.
And what I think is great is that like I can already tell from the small start of a conversation we've had that you guys have such a positive like vibe that you put out, and I think that's great because you guys are voices for people in similar situations to you, or just people who have like a physical difference. As I say, I can relate on a very, very small level, but you are a voice to then put out into the world and actually educate others and like open up a conversation. And I think there's a lot of sort of power and value in that. And is that anything that you guys would want to explore further in the future? Because I really think you guys could be ambassadors here, or are you just happy sort of working your lives with animals and getting all involved in that? And what's your sort of thought process there? Because looking at your followings and stuff, like, you guys have power to make a lot of change. I think it's brilliant.
Thank you. I'm gonna be honest. What we really want to do with the channel right now, or like accounts in general, because we're like out of school right now, I want to try to focus more towards like actually giving back, if that makes any sense. Especially what's going on in the world, and be more of an ambassador for that. I don't. How do I put this? I don't love speaking completely for other conjoined twins, because everybody's body structure is different and everything like that. But I do like how there is less stigma towards certain individuals, especially now that we are able to not have people speak for us, if that makes any sense.
Because when we were younger, my mom and dad would just always answer for us and stuff like that. Or like my dad, every time we'd go to like a museum or a zoo, he would stand in front of us for like pictures and stuff. And we were like, we're fine taking pictures. It's just you gotta ask for them.
Mm-hmm. Have you guys met any other conjoined twins? Because it's quite like rare, isn't it?
Not necessarily in real life. I mean, actually, once in real life. There is a pair of conjoined twins that live relatively near us, about a couple hours away from us, that we've met in person.
And we were also on the Tyra Banks show, and they made us meet a lot of people.
Producers really like when everybody gets together. But we are actually really good friends with a pair of conjoined twins whose name are Jose Luis and Jose Armando. They're from Ecuador. And they're actually really cool guys. You should check them out. They're on TikTok and Instagram. I think their Instagram is like Siameses Ecuatoriano, I think it's what it is. Hold on, once we're done, I'll look it up.
Yeah.
I'm interested, like, in you talked about your parents there and moments from maybe childhood or teenagehood, but what was, if you don't mind me asking it, like growing up and, you know, maybe through school and being different like you guys are, but also the same as everybody else? Like, how was it adjusting to that? How was life as a child and a teenager, and what sort of lessons and takeaways have you guys gathered over the years that would be great for me and Jacob to learn about, if that makes any sense?
It does make sense.
I didn't realize I was getting bullied until we were adults.
So what do you mean by that? So
my social awareness is like not out, like as out the window kind of thing. Like you just kind of think about something somebody said to you and went, wait a minute, that was an insult. Kind of thing. Yeah, that's kind of what it was. But
we grew up in public school, learning how to walk. In the middle of that, we took our real first steps at 5 years old, in and out of hospitals because of my asthma and then her digestive system.
People were actually very open to us, to be honest, especially as kids. Like, yeah, kids can be cruel, but there was a little bit of like a community going on that would help move us along. Like our really good friend Hannah and like my best friend Joey, they were one of the ones that had stuck with us since we were like second grade, and we moved schools actually with them to like an agricultural program outside of our town. And even when we moved to another town, they were very open to us and very accepting. Yeah, there's the occasional asshole and everything like that, but we knew how to grow a pair before we knew how to like take it, if that makes any sense.
I mean, like people probably got you. Is any probably a surprise at the start, and then people just realize you just normal.
Yep. It's a lot of realizations, to be honest.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, and also there must be so many things also that people only view things at face value, but there must be so many different aspects, especially kind of growing up. You mentioned like learning to walk there, that just people around you and other kids in school just wouldn't understand. Am I on the right lines there?
Yes.
And that process of learning to walk, how was that? Do you guys have different control over different legs, and was that through physio? And then how have you guys managed to coordinate that? Because that's really interesting to me.
I mean, since we were about 6 months old, we've had the privilege of being able to have physical therapy and things like that. And there has been a series of physical therapists since we were 6 months to about 14 or 15-ish that were teaching us how to at first move our legs and then move our legs together. Like Lupe said earlier, we didn't really take our first steps until we were about 5. Because of I coordinate the the right half and then she coordinates the left. At this point, it feels kind of like instinct, but there is some points that I'll be like, oh shit, I'm about to fall because she missed a step, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it happens. So we admit we're clumsy, but you'd think that we fall a lot more than we actually do.
Yeah, that's impressive. Nah, that's amazing. And so I mean, one thing I'm interested in as well, moving away from sort of the physical stuff, because I'm a psychology student, so I find all of this on a sort of psychological level so fascinating, because you guys do have 2 separate brains. So biologically, you have that difference, but your life experience,
the whole nature versus nurture thing within the
yeah.
same. Okay, good. Continue. Sorry. Continue.
So that's on the sort of lines that I'm on about. So I'm interested. Have you guys ever had any researchers look at you or anything like that, or do you stay away from that kind of stuff? Because I can imagine to some academic, you guys are an amazing case study.
To be honest, we haven't been reached out yet.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to be done there. That's interesting. But for myself, I'm fascinated by. So you guys have 2 different brains. So in my head, you're 2 different people. You have 2 different likes and dislikes. But your personal life experience is similar, but also a bit different. And there's so many blurred lines there. That's why I think it'd be so interesting to study. But do you guys, when I ask you, are there similarities and differences in the way you are? Can you think of clear things of well, she hates this, but I actually love that. Or she wants this from life, but I actually want this. And talk to me about that and your sort of differences in personality and how you've navigated that throughout life and whether that's changed as you've got older and things like that.
I was really, 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 really shy when I was younger, and Carmen would speak for me and be my right hand guy kind of thing, literally. We had some similar friends, but sometimes I didn't like some of her friends, vibe wise. I'm like, she's gonna do something bad, and then years later they did. But anyways, Carmen's stronger than most people that I know, and that's what I appreciate about her.
Oh, thank you.
That's nice.
It's like Lupita, you're more of an introvert psychologically, and then Carmen, you're more of an extrovert. And has that kind of
Very loose term.
But you've kind of both developed more of a middle ground together.
Yes. Question mark? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, so that's so interesting. So there was times where you would have, Carmen would have a friend that you didn't like, and then that must be an interesting situation to navigate between the both of you, no? Or do you guys, is it sort of have you ever had any big disagreements where it's then you've had to come to some sort of compromise, or you just sort of, one of you has to just be okay, I'm going to go with it and go with the other one's point of view here?
I don't think we have.
Not yet, at least.
That's amazing. So generally, on the whole, you get on so well, because obviously there's this classic generic thing of siblings will always fight, and they always have their 2 separate ways of doing things, and they always conflict and argue. I mean, how are they?
We have an older sister for that.
Okay. So, but you guys can team up against them, no? That's not fair. It's it's always 2v1.
Yeah. Yeah, we did up on our older sister.
Because that's the thing with 3. When there's 3 people, one you can always make a decision. So you kind of go to the older sister for that if you're having trouble, if you disagree with something.
Yeah, pretty much. We would just kind of how do I put this? Our older sister also was basically our second mom as well. So anytime we did have some sort of disagreement or just a problem in general, we just go to her anyway. But yeah, I don't know. We're very different in a sense of like vibe wise too. Not gonna lie.
So, yeah, what are those differences? I mean, I'm interested.
Um, how do I put this? She's more into Lupe's more into fashion. I let her pick everything because if it was up to me, it would just be t-shirt and sweatpants. She is really good at makeup. I am not into that kind of thing, but I will let her I'll be her dummy for her if she really needs me to. Um,
So Lupita does your makeup.
yeah. She has a lot of sensory issues when it comes to food, so sometimes I just have to suck it up and eat it, just so neither of us look rude. Um,
I don't know. I look at nothing.
I don't know. I got to feel on the spot kind of thing because I don't really think about that too much.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. I'm just giving you the space to say what you want to say and not say what you don't want to say. Yeah. I mean, so I find it so amazing that you guys have such a strong relationship, as you said there. And am I right in thinking you're kind of like you're a great support system for one another because you're all like, to speaking literally, you're always there for each other, but also metaphorically, you're always there for each other. Going through, no, but you know what I mean, like going through.
No, I totally get what you're trying to say. No, I know you're not trying to be rude. It's just I get what you're trying to.
No, and everything I say in this conversation comes from a position of I want to learn from you two because I'm so interested in your life experience because that's the kind of guy I am. I'm very, very curious, and that's why we wanted to get you here and have a conversation. But I imagine in my head, if I had Jacob next to me all the time, it would be like I would be able to kind of confer with him about situations and any mental struggles I was going through. I could discuss it. And like, was that the case as you were growing up, where one of you would be troubled by something emotionally, and the other one is just there as a support for that? And is that true?
Yes. I had a lot of reading comprehension issues growing up and learning disabilities, and she would help me like teach me how to read and fix the words that I couldn't really pronounce. I also had a stutter when I was younger, and now, and yeah, like for like how you see kids and you're like, oh, I kind of want to be like them, but like not really, like, but she's like, why do you want to be like them? That's stupid. What? Yourself. Be yourself.
Yeah.
And like in class and stuff, would you help each other through tests and
All the time.
I mean, teachers can't really.
Yeah, is that against the rules? Or did you guys
Tried. They really tried. Yeah, they really tried.
They tried to stop you from sort of cheating or things like that. Like, how did they do that?
They tried putting some kind of like divider towards us. They tried putting like a weird like tripod carton thing down, and they'd still be like, so.
Problem is, they didn't know that we knew the alphabet in sign language, so I would just do the what letter that she would put the letter on my back, and then I would just like write it in and stuff like that.
That's amazing. That is amazing. I love it.
Or Spanish. But
Yeah. So you guys know sign language, or just the alphabet?
Very, very little. I tried taking it again in college. All we know is like, hi, how are you in American Sign Language.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Wow. That must be it. I mean, it's an interesting one for schools to navigate, I guess. Have you got any other funny stories where they tried to, or in school especially? Because I imagine there's different situations you have to navigate there. Like, obviously they, like with different friend groups, or like if you guys were at different learning paces, or you wanted to learn different subjects. I mean, I don't know. I know, Lupita, you dropped out of high school or college or whatever, but there must have been situations where like you wanted to take different courses or spend time with different classmates. And talk to me a little bit about that. I'm interested.
Let's see here. Funnily enough, when we were in first grade, I was supposed to skip over to third, and she was supposed to stay in first. So they went, fuck it, just go to second.
They just met in the middle, like.
Yeah, they really didn't know what to do, and we were all like, okay, so do we?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just we were kind of floaters, if that makes any sense, in like high school and middle school. So we were just kind of friendly with everybody, and people, to a point, I know, felt some sort of pity for us. But I wouldn't really let it get to us, if that makes any sense, because it was mostly just from like teachers or like the richy rich type of folk that are really out of touch kind of thing. So we don't like it's skin off our back. But oh.
And at the moment, like Carmen, you're doing your course. So what do you do, Lupita, when Carmen's doing her course?
I have headphones in.
I love it.
And then sometimes pay attention the most important parts to like know what people are talking about in the hospital and stuff like that. But yeah, I know most of the stuff now. Like I do pay attention, but I do have one headphone in. I'm getting a free education.
There you go. There you go. That's brilliant. Why not? Why not if you can? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, even here we have a similar system, but your guys is even madder. But yeah. What was I going to say? I had a thing there about school. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, on the pity note of people being like that, does that, I can imagine on the 10,000th time that would just get right on your nerves, isn't it? When everyone's like, I mean, again, I can relate on a very, very small scale, being like a wheelchair user when I'm outside the house and things, and people going, oh, poor you, it must be so difficult, when that's all I've ever known, so that's just my life. Are you in a similar sort of spot with that?
Yeah, no, I've noticed a lot of people will straight up come up to us, just point blank and go, oh my God, if I ever was a conjoined twin, I would off myself. And I'm like, whoa, where did this come from?
And how do you manage that? Like, what is your response if someone said that? Like,
well, a lot of the time it's like, okay, good for you, congratulations.
You can both give them a slap.
As we got older, it's more of like it's coming to the understanding of people are just very self-centered, and it's just been an individualistic society that nobody really knows how to communicate with each other anymore. That they would just rather be like, if I had to like work together with someone else, that's not happening, kind of thing. And I'm like, hey, and it's not like we just got up and we were just conjoined twins all of a sudden one day, kind of thing.
I mean, Joel, if we were conjoined twins, I reckon I'd enjoy it for a bit.
Do you think? We get to hang out all the time, bro. Yeah, but I think you'd piss me off eventually.
Oh, she pisses me off all the time.
Yeah.
It's not like we don't bicker. It's more the sense of like we know what hills to die on. Like
yeah, of course. But I can imagine just sort of through your experiences, you become quite resilient to people being a dickhead and stuff. I mean, you know, you'd have to be, and that gives you that, you know. No, but you're better. No, what I'm saying is you're better at dealing with it, right? Surely, like after, or do you? The thing is, but even speaking to now,
really bad attitude towards like stupid questions. There are stupid questions. There are such things as stupid questions.
Oh yeah. But what I'm not saying you don't like you're okay with it. What I'm saying is you're better at dealing with it. Do you know what I mean?
So you'd think so.
But then that's the vibe I get from you guys, you know.
But we are. How do I put this? A lot of people think we are a lot better at dealing with it than we actually are. Yeah, I do give into like a lot of the BS that exists within the internet and how people like view us. But I am receiving mental health help, so that is helpful. It helps process everything.
Yeah, I do understand. I understand why you'd want to turn around to people and just go fuck off, because it's like it's the amount that you've.
But that's it. You know, I completely understand why you would feel overwhelmed. I mean, maybe I don't understand is the wrong word.
No, I get what you're trying to say. You speak freely. I get what you're trying to say. You're good.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell just in the vibe of the conversation that me and Jake were on your side here. Like, we're just interested. But and I appreciate so much that you guys have given us your time to sort of have this conversation. But yeah, so I'm interested as well. Like, what is, in terms of like, you guys have to, obviously you both want pretty separate things in ways, and you, Carmen, you're on your course and things like that, but do you guys have sort of any things that you both want for life? Do you want to go traveling? Do you want to see a bit of the world? Or do you like, what sort of what's next in terms of that? Do you have any sort of steps for the next few years that you're thinking about and that you both want to do, and dreams and things like that? I'm interested.
I want to do comedy writing when she graduates, and probably get my degree in animal behavior, because a lot of people do not know how to control their animals. And I am sick of that. She wants to do animal reproduction.
So that kind of goes hand in hand. It's still like relatively like still similar. I do have a couple of like I have a certification in artificial insemination that I want to like jump off from that. I want to do more like IVF, like in vitro fertilization for cows and horses. Especially with the people that live around here, they bring their horses to the Kentucky Derby, and I want to have that a little bit of that money.
Yeah. Do you say like you want to do comedy, Lupita? Yeah, I can imagine that would go so well. Like that would be. I can imagine you'd be great at that. Yeah.
Much appreciated.
And were animals? Why are they such an interest? Is it because like they've probably helped you deal with harder times? I mean, I imagine. I know people refer to dogs as being kind of better than humans and more loyal, and they don't judge as well like humans do, and yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that definitely plays a part into it. As well as the fact that since we came to the States, basically, we've always been like enwrapped within like agriculture. The family that sponsored us when we first got here owned a couple of goats. Actually, that's who we work for now. They expanded their facility a little bit bigger into a couple towns over, and now we do like hay deliveries for them like once every 2 weeks. We
Give them vaccines, check the babies if they were born okay, things like that. What else are we gonna do in the future? Damn, I forgot. We do want to travel. Problem is, immigration's not gonna let us
at the moment. But hopefully in the future we'll be able to.
How are the goats?
I'm sorry.
I'll go first. How are the goats? How are the goats at the moment? Like,
Good. So like right now, we're currently I think at the end of our kidding season. Hopefully, knock on wood. Because we started in January for some reason, and it trailed on into like May.
Now we're up to like 15 baby goats, and it's a hell of a work.
that's really cool.
Thank you.
And you talked about travel there, saying like you're not allowed because of immigration rules or whatever. But do you mean that on sort of like living in other countries that you'd like to do one day, but that's the barriers that are there, or I mean, is there places you want to visit on sort of?
Well, to be honest, we can't travel outside of the United States under the current not administration. That's not what I'm looking for. Under the current like case we're under, it won't allow us to leave the country because then
We will be deported.
kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
However, we are figuring out a way to become citizens in order for that to happen, but it all just takes one step at a time.
Yeah. So if you don't mind me asking, you guys weren't born in America then?
No, we were born in Mexico.
Okay. And how old were you when you both made it to America?
The first time we were 1, the second time we stayed, it was 2.
Okay, so you don't really remember. Do you guys have much memory then of that process, or will you remember this time in America?
Only here.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, I don't have any memory. I mean, my earliest memories are when I'm like 4, so I can imagine anything at that time. Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
The thing with America is like it's such a big country. You can kind of travel in America. Well, there's
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a reason like Americans, a lot of them think their country is like really great and stuff. And why would you want to leave? Like there's so many different states and different experiences and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So great.
Great.
No, but I mean, you get so what? Like from my perspective, right? I went a couple of years ago. I went to Arizona because I have family there, and like it was something like that. The family I was staying with told me that even that state is so much bigger than our. I mean, we and Jake were from England, so that state is so much bigger than our country, but we have something like 8 times the population. And I think that's the biggest difference I've found going to America, is just how much space there is. Like here, it feels like we are just packed on top of each other all the time. Like I live at university, and so does Jacob, and we live in like university flats because we're both students. And like there's probably 1,000 people just living around me in like a tiny radius. Do you know what I mean? I think that's the thing that annoys me about this country. You know, I'd love to live in America one day. Which state are you guys in?
We are currently in Connecticut.
Okay. Yeah.
Just kind of funny.
Yeah. Wow.
We're all Geminis.
Okay. Nice.
I wanted to ask, Carmen, how's your boyfriend going?
He's good. What are we? 3.5 years strong?
That's pretty good. 3.5 years is, yeah. What's that like? Seeing for you, Lupita, to see the sort of transformation of those 3.5 years.
Good, because she had shit taste in men. To be honest.
I love it. That's hilarious.
What?
Yeah. And how does that, you know, again, if you don't mind me asking, just coming from a curiosity perspective, like how does that dynamic work with both of you guys being separate individuals, with one of you in a relationship? Surely there's obstacles to navigate there, and then how have you come to that? And have you able to manage that because you guys get on so well and you've had to just work together throughout your whole lives, that it's just another thing that we just deal with and work as a partnership on? And how does that work?
When we were like 14, 15, I came out as asexual, and she was like, I'm bi. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll deal. And then I tried to help her on the dating apps, because again, shit taking men. Well, and then I was like, maybe this guy, and then now they're together.
Wow, that is really nice. Genuinely, that's really nice.
Oh, she's the one that kind of like helped us be who we are.
Yeah,
I'm not even kidding either.
So this ultimate wingman, isn't it? Then is it? You know what I mean? Like, she was on your side then, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
We play on TikTok and stuff is, I hate his guts and I ruin their photos.
I love it, guys. Genuinely, it's amazing. It's amazing that you're both so positive about things. You know.
Thank you.
You know, I don't want to be a patronizing bloke, because I get the same thing, but I think I'm inspired, because you know, you just smiles on your faces and you're living your lives, and it's really admirable. So yeah. And what have you got anything else, Jake? Because I've got a sort of nice final broader question, but I wondered if you had anything more specific you wanted to ask.
I just had a thought. I'm just gonna say it. Like,
Go for it.
Romantic like relationships between conjoined twins, is that like not really a thing?
Yeah, there are boundaries. No, I mean, I think it depends on the situation.
And what I meant was like two sets of conjoined twins. That's not like.
I don't think I've ever heard of that, to be honest.
Mm.
I don't there. There was a time where when we were more outwardly like just being friends with the other conjoined twins from Ecuador, a lot of people were like, "You found the one," and you're like, "Oh yeah, definitely." We played into it for like a day, and then we all went, "No, dude, we're good."
Because on your boyfriend's behalf, he has to like Lupita as much as he has to be like Lupita as well as loving you, because if him and Lupita didn't get on, that might cause problems and stuff like that.
That's my brother.
Yeah, that's nice. That's really nice that you guys have that dynamic, like, and you work together, you know.
He's right there.
Well, that's cool. So I mean, thank you so much for doing this. But my final bit, I wanted to say, just give you an opportunity. Is there anything that you would want to say to anyone listening, to sort of for them to take away from this like conversation, or anything that you want people to think about or learn? I thought I'd just give you an opportunity if there is anything that you want to say before we go.
God, I've been put on the spot here. Oh my God.
That's right. Take your time. There's no rush, and I'm happy.
Not everything is what it seems at first glance. Dig a little deeper kind of thing. That's all I can really say.
Don't be a dickhead.
There you go. 2 valuable lessons for me and Jacob's Monday evening. Thank you, guys.
If people want to find out about more about you guys, like, where should they go?
You can look us up on YouTube. Our account is Carmen and Lupita. Instagram is I don't even remember. Never mind. Forget Instagram. TikTok is the same thing as our YouTube channel, Carmen and Lupita. And yeah, that's about it. That's all I got.
Yeah, that's great, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time, and
Nice to meet you.
have a brilliant rest of your Monday. And it's been great meeting you.
Likewise, have a good one.
Cool.